So hey, Alasdaire, thanks for joining me in this lovely podcast studio here in Glasgow.
I know.
Not far from your hometown.
Nah, like half an hour away.
So is Glasgow or Edinburgh closer to you?
Edinburgh. Edinburgh's about 15 minutes. Glasgow's like 45 minutes.
Okay, nice.
So it's not too bad.
Nice. So so let's get straight in. So what made you get into the pressure washing business?
So I was at university doing accounting. Didn't really like it, and I was working in a warehouse in like a freezer in Iceland, and it was just awful. And then I just saw someone, like, they don't even do it anymore. I think they just done it for a laugh. They just bought like pressure wash someone's driveway and was like, oh, if anyone wants to do it, like, you know, give me a shout. And then they kept posting jobs. They maybe like 3 jobs. And I was like, I could do that. So I went and bought a pressure washer and a credit card on Amazon, and then asked my dad if I can borrow his car.
On Amazon?
Amazon.
What sort of pressure washer did you get?
It was like a Hyundai one. It broke.
Not surprised.
After a year, to be fair, so I got.
Yeah.
But the good thing about Amazon, if anyone wants to start, they send things back easy. So I got the money back on it. So I just said it was broken.
So you had a free pressure washer for a whole
washer,
year.
yeah.
So little hack there.
Yeah, literally, but it's a bit fraudulent. But I asked my dad if I can borrow his car. I put the pressure washer in the back of the car, started going around asking folk for the driveway cleaned, and then with the money that I just made off that, bought a van. It wasn't a good van. It was literally, I don't know. It's like this 2005 like Fiat Doblo. Cost me like £1,000, and then it wouldn't start properly. You had to like shimmy the key.
Yeah.
We went there, and the woman was like, "Oh yeah, it started yesterday," and I was like, "Okay, it's not starting now." But I was so desperate for this van, I was like, "Right, I'll do it. I'll just figure it out." So I got it, and then I was like, "Oh, it's just not starting." So I went back to her, and she was like, "She shimmied it again." It's like, you see, it's a woman's touch you need. I'm like, all right, okay. So she somehow managed. If I was the only one in the world that could start it. Whenever we took it for an MOT or that, they had to roll it in, or I had to go and start it. So it was weird. So yeah, that got sold off, and then I failed its MOT miserably, and then we got a new van, and then we got another van.
Go back before you started investing in the vans and stuff. How much research did you do into the industry? And was it just pressure washing, or did you have a few other business ideas and then you decided to go with pressure washing?
Well, I mean, I've done loads of stuff, like just all the usual, like buying shoes, trying to sell shoes, Amazon FBA, that went horribly wrong. Just stuff like that. And then I just thought, well, I've bought this pressure washer. Worst comes worst, I've just got a good pressure washer for my driveway.
Yeah.
But I kind of got the work before I bought the pressure washer.
So how did you get the work? This is
just like posted on Facebook, and then my mum shared it, and then it was just her friends, and then.
So you posted on Facebook before you'd ever done a job, before you'd ever bought a pressure washer?
Before I did that, and then I can.
So that's quite interesting, because I did the same thing 12 years ago now. Before buying any pressure washing equipment, or before actually starting the business, just printed out some paper, said I'm starting this service, and then went door to door and just said I'm starting this service soon. Are you interested?
Did you have Facebook when you started?
I don't know. Yeah, no. Would have had Facebook. Yeah, would have had Facebook, but probably didn't know at the time about the groups and stuff.
My mum just put it, like, literally all my customers for like the first like 3 months were all just my mum's friends, or like they would see me. I kind of regret, because I was still doing the warehouse at the time, but it was quite good because I was on 1 day a week, and they were quite good because they were always needing people, where I would be like, I can work 6 days this week, and then I'd have 1 day booked in for pressure washing. Yeah. So that was good and bad in a way, because it wasn't really pushing me enough to like try and find the work. It was just kind of coming in whenever like my mum, mum's friend needed one, or like a neighbour saw, or it came up in conversation kind of thing. Or you posted on Facebook and you put it in the groups and people thingied it. So it wasn't until like April, I started in like October time, which is a bad time to start.
So and then, October last year?
No, year before that.
Year before.
And then in April is when I properly started doing leaflets, posting them through letterboxes and stuff like that. And then I'd get my friends to then do it for me, and then I'd be doing the work, and just kind of built from there, and then just got more leaflets, more. Nice. And then
And how long did it take before you were full time? So you were doing it sort of 1 day a week. You still had your job. So when did you make the big jump and say, okay, no more job, no more salary, I'm going to do this full time?
Well, so I was at university, so I could only work 2 days a week from like Christmas till April time anyway. So I was able to fill those gaps in. Plus, I got really lucky on one job, because My mum's friend, they had this massive house, and it generally had kept me busy for about the whole of January, half February, for like 6 days. And it got to the point where I was looking for stuff to do. I was like, oh, do you want your fence painted and stuff like that? And it was, and then that's when he actually gave me loads of really good advice and kind of said, do some flyers and stuff like that. And then he was like, show me go make a flyer and show me it. And he was like, yeah, that's good. Go and post that through every single door you can. And then that was when I started posting it and then booking up April. But you have to remember at the time, like, I wasn't not doing anything. I was still having to do studying for exams and stuff like that. So I was only booking the weekends. And if I didn't get a weekend, then it's fine, because I could just either study or just, have my student loan.
Yeah.
So so
that was what, a couple of years ago?
That was last year.
Last year. So where are you now?
So then obviously was doing, like, in terms of like money wise.
Just like days wise, how many days?
Well, I remember I finished my exams in April, and then it tried to book up May, and I was absolutely buzzing with having like $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
I was telling my girlfriend, like, oh, look at this, forget $4,000 a month this month. And then so now on a like kind of a quiet month would be about $12,000 a month. So looking at maybe 14, 15 grand,
nice.
Which would be a good one. So I'd say average is 12 for now, but that's quite consistent, and it's not really fluctuating a huge deal. Whereas before it was some days nothing, some days loads.
So are you fully booked now? 5 days a week?
5 days a week. And then also I've got someone else who helps me called Jamie. Shout out Jamie. And he has his own van now, who he'll get booked 5 days a week, and then I'll be doing 3 days a week, but it ends up being more. But I'm still kind of like managing that.
Yeah.
It's not as smooth as I like to in my head, but yeah, that's where we're at now.
So you're only a couple of years in. How old are you?
21.
21. So you're 21. I was 22 when I started 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, started young. So you started what, 19, 20?
19.
19. Wow. That's young.
I'd say about a year and a half. Well, I mean, it's July now, so yeah, but a year and a half really.
Nice. And what you on track to turn over now this year?
On track to be 135. 135. That's like average of what we've done this year so far, so I could pick up.
Brilliant.
Hopefully,
so 2100 over 100 grand in your second full year.
Yeah,
trading?
second year. Yeah,
that's pretty good. How do you feel about that?
Doesn't really. I don't know. Well, see, this is kind of my issue, because when I had that, the moment where I thought I was loaded was when I had that $4,000 month.
Yeah.
Now it just feels like it's just kind of thingy. I think it was do that in a week, but because speaking to you and stuff like that, you obviously do that, 135 grand a month, not like a year. So it's like, comparing just me to you, it just feels like I'm like I'm kind of proud of myself in a sense, but I'm not like I'm glass.
Yeah, it's all perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like as you move along the journey, like, I remember some of those monthly milestones, like what you used to hit in a month, and the first time you do it, it's like, wow, that's a lot, and then roll on a few years, and that amount is just a lot smaller. So where exactly do you want to get to? So you're 2 years in now, over 100k already. How big do you want to get the company? What's your plans for it?
I definitely want to do $1 million, and I believe I can do that. Obviously, I feel like 5 million is a good one, because you're like 5% profits, $1 million a year, so it's good.
Yeah.
So either $1 million turnover and then $1 million a year profit.
$1 million turnover first.
Yeah,
and then later on $1 million a year profit.
So I feel like it's a good goal. Don't know why.
Yeah.
But
I think you stole my goal, have you?
I think that's what I don't want to say, because you keep saying that.
For the 5 mil turnover, 1 mil net profit. That's
I feel it's a good.
That's the goal. Yeah.
I feel it's a good goal. Sweet. And if you don't get it, then what I'll do. So I'm saying.
Cool. So we've been working together now for 10 months, which I can't believe it's gone that fast. It feels like 3 to 5 months.
Yeah,
maximum.
it feels like just like a couple months go by.
And what made you want to get like a coach or a mentor? And
it's weird. I mean, I've never been against it or anything like that, but I remember the reason why I messaged you was just to ask for advice to like quote this big job, this like cladding cleaning job we got. I never got the job, but it was basically to clean this big outside this warehouse. And I had no clue like how to quote this job, and so I just asked you, and you said, "Would you be interested in?" Actually, you sent me a message being like, "Your website's shit. Do this, do that." And I was like, "Okay, this guy clearly making a bit of an effort."
I'm sure I said it nicer than that.
Yeah. And you said interested in coaching. And I was like, "Yeah." And then you said how much it was. And I'm like, "Okay, go for it."
Nice.
I mean, it's not going to hurt. In my head, it's like, well, it's what you make of it as well, because. Also, it's not like you were a business coach. You had like a big business which I wanted to do. So I mean, if that just meant paying you money to learn 10 years of experience, like it's, to me, it just feel like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like people, I feel like if you don't want to do it, it's almost like arrogant because you think that you know everything, but you don't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, pause there. So what did you not know that you weren't aware about that you know now?
Well, just basic
10 months.
I mean, I feel like you do. I feel like I would, if you really sat down and wrote everything down, you would know what you're not doing. But you don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
And because you're busy with doing everything else. So having someone tell you to do this, you'll be like, right, I knew that. But also as well, having regular meetings, it just kind of like, it's more like an accountability partner who's done everything and you could learn off of, more like someone telling you what to do. I'm going to give you this magic bean, because you feel like you know what you're supposed to do, but it's in terms of, are you doing them every other week? Or every week, or every 2 weeks we meet and stuff like that. What was the question?
What's been some of the stuff that you've done then over the last 10 months that's helped you to
major
move
thing? Well, I did not track a single thing. Like I never knew, I didn't really track how much I was making, how much I was spending, how much, how many leads I was getting, if they were good, if they were bad, how many we won, what were they from, how much it was for, loads, how much sales you're doing each week. I just didn't track a single thing. And it was just, because I remember like because September is quite a quiet month. So I was kind of quiet when I first met you. And then, probably, January was just as good as probably my best month in like last year, which is obviously quite a quiet month. So
you started doing some new marketing.
Yeah, the main things you kind of taught me to do was obviously you introduced me to those people that you knew, who you've like, gone through, kissed all the frogs to find your prince kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you've introduced me to the marketing agency who now do our Google ads. They basically took a look at my website and was like, there's no point even doing Google ads because his website's shit. So you need to get a new website sorted. So a new website, and then you've made me go to like BNI, which has been great because, shout out to them. But it just terms of like, fine, like I'm obviously 21, like I don't know anyone who's got a business. So you'll go there, I've got an accountant from BNI, like a bookkeeper from BNI, someone does all the printing for me for BNI, like all these people, I wouldn't even know about it if you'd ever said.
You sound like a top referrer in the group.
Yeah, great eye. But yeah, what's the main things you've done? To be honest, it's nothing really that special. It's like just doing the things you say you're going to do each week and having that person to come and say, do this, do that. And then loads of stuff like, it's all these it's just wee things. It's not really been more. What would you say the big massive one thing that I've done differently?
Like you said, the tracking, the scorecard probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, before you weren't sure how many leads you were getting, where they were coming from, what your conversion was. Maybe that switch as well. When that was a big thing for me when I learned about it, is switching to thinking about what you're selling that week rather than what you're performing.
I would say that probably is the main thing.
Yeah, because then you focus more on that, because that drives what you're doing in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So I remember when you switched to that, the next thing you told me you were booked out for like how many weeks?
Oh, like 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
Had to stop doing like leaflets because it was so busy, and then obviously tried to add a van, and then now we're kind of doing leaflets again. So which is a bit annoying, but it's just how it goes. But I'd say the main thing would be the tracking, and obviously just marketing. How if you know all the numbers, it's a case of just turn the tap on like 2x to get double the output, and you just kind of control it that way instead of just kind of hoping the work's going to come in and it's going to fill up your diary.
So what's been if you could say one thing that you've changed in the last 10 months that's made the biggest difference?
It'd be tracking everything, probably.
Tracking everything.
Tracking every single thing.
Yeah, and you haven't been slow at getting all these systems set up as well. Like
haven't been slow.
You haven't, no. Like pipe drive.
Oh yeah, pipe drive. That's probably the main one to be fair.
Yeah, and do you use that? Do you still use that Smart Docs?
Yep, Smart Docs as well.
Yeah, so
that's another. That's another. That's another thing you've obviously taught me is I didn't even know what pipe drive is, but that's basically the main thing that tracks all the leads that come in, and that is what gets you work and what gets the diary booked up.
I think a lot of people, like me as well, before you'd have inquiries coming from everywhere, and it's hard to keep track of them. So you'll have emails coming in, WhatsApps, Facebook messages, Messenger, and then it's easy to forget to forget one and forget to reply to someone. But at least with Pipedrive, you have a dashboard, and then you can get them all in one place.
Yeah.
And keep track of them.
What I found as well is like with Google, obviously on the app you can see, I've had, it says I've had 10 conversions, when in actually fact you probably had about 7. But on the Google, if you're going off that, then it completely could ruin what you think, how well you're doing. Because if it says on your app, on the Google ads, that it's like, 10, let's say for example, £10 a lead, but really it's 15 because it was like spam or whatever. Google doesn't differ between like bots inquiries and like actual inquiries. So you could be plodding away thinking you're getting £10 a lead, but actually you're getting 15. So that's why Pipedrive is amazing, because it differs, and you can, not differs, it like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Deciphers, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Between like good and bad.
Wicked. So, so what would you say to someone who's thinking about getting a coach, but they're unsure, they're scared of the investment?
Well, either you think you've got the answers, which is bad, or you're too scared to part with X money just because. I think it's just arrogance, to be honest. Like genuinely, like you think that you're better than someone who's got 12 years of experience of doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, or even not even if you're doing like business in general is pretty much the same thing. Like I feel like replace cleaning with plumbing.
Yeah.
Like it's the same kind of principles.
I think that was really smart that you actually got someone in the same industry, because I've had a business coach for years and he's been brilliant, but he's not in the same industry.
Yeah.
So
there's wee things as well. They told me just like in terms of like equipment and wee things to like how to sell jobs and stuff like that. Wouldn't, if you for example were in like different business, you wouldn't know all these wee things.
Yeah.
But it is quite lucky that you were actually in the same industry as me.
Yeah.
What would I say to someone who's looking for a coach? I just think that if you don't do it, then you either don't want to get better, or you think that you're better than everyone, which isn't good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got to be humble, I suppose.
Yeah.
And
obviously, that's a bit,
I've still got a coach.
It's not like a sales pitch or anything like that, but like it will. Oh God, I don't know how to say it without being like sign up, but I don't know. Like it's going to help, even if like to the point where you boil it down to just. Even if you don't have a coach, like if you just think of it as like a accountability partner, of like saying, right, because you don't actually discuss that with yourself. You don't say like what's going to move the needle in the next 2 weeks. You just do the job.
You just get stuck into it, don't you? And you don't really think forward.
Like you might, but no one's going to sit down on a bit of paper and think, right, in the next 2 weeks, what I'm going to do to move the needle. Yeah. Whereas it forces you to have that.
Yeah.
Every other week, and then if you don't do it, you're going to be like, well, why the fuck do you not do it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, because I was at a stag do and
bit
hungover for a few days afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's been your biggest success this year so far?
Probably getting in like 2 members of staff, new van, second van and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you think that like where I was, where I start, like literally a year and a half ago, I was in my dad's car. I'm going to Jaws my dad's car and hoofing a big pressure washer.
Now you've got a better pressure washing than any of our vans have, I think.
Yeah.
Has it landed yet?
No, it's 2 weeks.
When's it coming?
2 weeks when I come back from Ibiza.
Nice.
But
so you excited?
What for Ibiza? The pressure washer.
The pressure
probably
washer.
Probably the pressure washer more, to be fair.
Yeah. Sack off out Ibiza and get another one.
Yeah, literally. Aye.
Okay, I don't want you coming back hungover again from this trip.
No, learned my lesson there.
Okay. What about challenges? What's been your biggest challenge this year, would you say?
Probably just like, again, the same thing that was the goal. Like the best thing was the burst thing. It's just the stress of having like an employee now, and obviously you need to kind of get over the fact that they're not going to be like you. You have to really think like how to motivate them, how to keep them happy, how to not give them too much, not do anything, or even like just kind of learning that everything that they've done wrong is your fault at the end of the day. Yeah,
taking responsibility, big time. Like every time, it's easy to start blaming other people, isn't it? But
I mean, you could. That's not going to get anywhere.
No, you got to just What could I do differently? What could I do? What can I put in place to stop that happening again?
Yeah.
So we had this on the call last week, didn't we?
That's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So something was going wrong on the job with the guys.
Yeah.
And we said, okay, what can we do? We can just make. We haven't got any rules. This is what happens when you're a young entrepreneur. You take on people. It's all just quick and come give me a hand with this job, but you haven't told them what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Have you? So
I feel like my main, not issue, but it's sorted now. Like today was great, whatever. But I think they were coming on like in their head to help me out.
Yeah.
And then when it kind of started, of me kind of shifting my mindset of right now, you're going to go and do these jobs now. You're not just helping me, like scoop the mud away or whatever.
Yeah.
That was the kind of main proper thing. All right, I've not laid that line down that this is kind of relationship we have. Not you're my friend helping me out or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not my friend. He's like, but
what about the other guys? Is there another guy you got?
He's not started yet. He'll like then start shadowing.
Yeah.
And like me and Jamie, and then he'll hopefully by the end of the year have his other own van.
Nice.
That's the goal anyway, but it's probably not going to happen like that.
So early days at the moment. So
yeah.
you currently do roofs, gutters, driveways, patios, mainly residential.
Yeah, mainly residential.
What is the goal? Where do you see yourself in the next few years?
I do want to start obviously getting into the commercial market and stuff like that, and just kind of doing the same thing that we're doing. More roofs would be good. Just more of the same, but kind of hopefully trying to get a chunk out of the commercial side of things, because I feel like it just where the money is.
Yeah, 100%. So is there any trends that you see in the industry, in the pressure washing or exterior cleaning industry?
Trends like bad, good.
Like where do you see it going? Do you see it evolving? Do you see anything changing?
Not really, to be honest. I feel like, maybe, I don't know. Probably, nah, sorry. Next question, don't know. What were you? Do you see any trends?
Any trends?
Maybe like everyone's going to start like YouTube channels. Like,
YouTube's getting more popular. You got that swimming pool guy.
Yeah,
it's a similar industry. You've got Partridge is doing really well on YouTube.
Yeah, I said Partridge.
Some of these guys are making more money on YouTube than they do actually doing the job, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
So you got a lot of people as well doing stuff for free. Is it that flawless cleaning goes around and does clean
so
for free?
Curbside as well. Shout out.
Yeah.
He's messaged me the other week. He's doing that as well. He's doing really well. But I asked him as well if he wants to be a YouTuber or wants a big business, and I think he said he wanted to be a YouTuber.
Oh yeah. So some of the people are getting into the industry
trying to be a YouTuber, not having a big company, which is also quite good, because you'll know yourself, like you make way more money doing the job yourself. Than you would like having not like obviously if you had one guy in a van and you in a van, you make more money than the one guy in the van. Mm-hmm. So if you can film and make loads of money doing that, then as well, like it's good if you're a one-man band, because YouTube will make you money in your sleep, to a certain extent. Like if you're ill, YouTube will still make you money, rather than if you're ill, you'd have to cancel a job and you can't make money that day. Yeah,
but you still have to show up and do new videos and do content and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, but you still, if you got 100 videos and I'll say 1,000 videos and each one of them gets 1 view a day, you still get 1,000 views a day regardless of when you posted them.
So that's something else you started doing as well in the last 10 months. Bit of YouTube, a bit of Instagram videos. I've seen them.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very confident behind the camera.
Oh, no, I don't. It's another B&I guy, Lewis, LA Digital Marketing. If you need anything like that, shout out him as well. He's the main thing is he's just another accountability partner, in a sense of like, right, I need this from you. We're gonna go out and film all these FAQs. I don't even look at them. I just say, right, when you go.
Nice.
And if they perform, then that's fine. But I know it's what I should do, but it is really hard. I probably won't even watch this back. Like I hate the way I speak, and oh god, no. So a few questions around like personal growth and development. Yeah. So
how do you balance business and your personal life? And what sort of ratio would you say it is? Where's your focus at?
Well, obviously the business. I don't know. Balance, like.
Would you say you have
take
balance?
Off.
Would you say you have balance at the moment?
No.
You're more.
Well, being like on the tools, it's like it's obviously a different skill, but I have to do everything that you do, and also do the cleaning. Yeah. So it's like I'll wake up, go to the gym in the morning, and then do an hour in the cafe in the gym before work, then go to do my working day, and then I'll come back and then bash out 3 more hours.
Wow.
And then
it's a long day. So what time you starting? What time you finishing?
Well, I'll get to the gym at like 6, and then I'll try and finish in an hour, and then 7 till 8 is when I do like laptop. Probably usually doing quotes. Yeah. Because you don't need to like speak to anyone, and then at night I'll be chasing quotes, doing the stuff that you tell me to do.
After a full day's work, then you're doing another few hours in the evening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's obviously not every day. That's the ideal day most of the time, but obviously sometimes you can't do that. And then Saturdays were the day I spend literally like a full day, wake up all day. Usually we have our call.
Yeah.
So after that, I'll just batter on loads of stuff, and then probably till about 2, and then I'll have the rest of the weekend to.
So have you got any advice for anyone thinking of getting into the industry or thinking of starting a pressure washing business?
I feel like you should just do it. Like, just do what I did and just like buy the cheapest pressure washer you can get. Like, people say, I actually had someone message me the other day being like, what pressure washer I need to start? Like, I've heard you need minimum 21 litres per minute. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you don't need that. You just need like, I mean, it'd be nice, but it would just take you longer with a smaller machine. You can still do a good job. I just think that don't go blow your money on massive stuff without getting the work in first.
Yeah. So that's something what we both do. Yeah, but you see loads of people, they shell out 10, 20,
you see all the
20,
time.
20 grand.
And it'll be up for sale. Like
all the gear, no idea, they say, isn't it?
And they'll be up
no
for
customers.
Sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you can knock on doors, or if you can get business in, then that's.
I didn't do any knocking on doors. I just did the leaflets.
Leaflets.
It's less stress, but
what's your sort of conversion on leaflets? How many inquiries would you get from 1,000 leaflets?
1,000 leaflets
on average.
Well, for like 10,000 leaflets, it'd be like 50.
50.
So you get 50 people inquiring.
Yeah,
which
but that's not everyone. That's because it's got your picture on it, isn't it?
Yeah. No, well, I don't know. Like
get all the oldies.
Yeah. I've had a few of them. 10,000, you maybe get 50 inquiries. Maybe 30 to 50, depending on what month it is. But obviously not all. If some of them are just being people being nosy and stuff like that, it's not like. But I think it's the way forward, in my opinion.
Cool.
And then if you do leaflets, my advice would be don't put out 100 and expect 5 people phoning you. Yeah. That's not. It doesn't work like that.
You need a decent leaflet as well. I remember back the first leaflets that I put out were absolutely shocking. I wish I had one to show you. Well, this is how cheap we were at the time. You printed them myself and used a guillotine, and the light wasn't even straight. It's embarrassing.
But like I actually got lucky though, because
did you get them designed and printed professionally first hand off?
No, actually, my flatmate in uni, Alex, he just knew how to work Photoshop, and I just literally, it's a picture of me like this, smiling, and my handwritten that I wrote on my iPad, and then on the back before and after of each, like a roof and a driveway, and I was just like, right, put a number on that, and then
handwriting style.
Handwrited, I feel like that is good.
It seems to be a good one.
Seems to be work, but I you do get the balance right, because if you do a handwritten leaflet and then show up in a big fancy van with like 4 different cherry picker, this and that, it doesn't really suit the brand of what you're kind of going for.
Yeah.
So I don't know, easy to work with it and test. Like
Ben's Gutters does that well though, doesn't he? They send out
they have
a load of handwritten leaflets,
but they also give the impression that like each one of their guys are like struggling to make ends meet, kind of thing. Like when you rock up, the other vans are brand new. Are
they a franchise? They got an interesting.
Well, no, actually, model. Fair enough. Like my dad, Johnny, his school, his daughter is a manager of Ben's Gutters, and the way it works is they give you the van and all that, but they just price. They give you some price, so you get like a list of things to do, and you get like X percentage of the job. Okay. So it's not a franchise.
Yeah.
I thought
so they're kind of like subcontractors.
Similar, yeah. No, because they get given a van.
They get the van as well.
They get given everything, but they just don't. They're not on an hourly wage or anything like that. They just get told to do all this stuff in the day, and you get a percentage of the job. Cool.
So, how do you handle stress with running a business and doing everything that you're doing at the moment?
Mm-hmm. How do I cope with it? Yeah. Like what do I do to cope? Yeah. Well, usually my stress comes from like if we'll just, apart from like cash flow and if I'm like, can I afford stuff? It's like I've not done stuff. It's like I've not done the things I'm supposed to do, and it's all kind of building up on top of you. May that be like replying to that person, going back to that job. So if you just keep on top, like if I just keep, usually because I'm slacking on what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's like you need to, when you're find time.
Hungover after that stag do weekend, is
that's the other thing that causes stress. But you look back and you think that's exactly what it is. It's not like that.
It's usually when you've
I feel like as well, like
what they say when you drop the ball, sort of when you've dropped the ball and you haven't been performing, and then it builds up. Yeah, literally, or it's like just loads of stuff that just piles on top of you, and then running helps, I think, as well. Running, yeah. If you just go run like no headphones on for like an hour, clear your head, and you'll usually know. I think that's
probably like my main thing that I've thought, everything I've thought of, I look back and think that was probably a good thing I did.
Yeah.
Was thought about while I was running. I don't think it was while I was busy all the time. It's when you have no phone, nothing, you just go an hour walk or an hour run.
Yeah.
You'll think of things.
Cool. So the next one, you might listen back to this podcast in a few years. So how long are you giving yourself to hit that £1 million turnover target?
I can do it 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Easy.
£1 million.
With a good coach, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're nearly coming up to 30 minutes now. So a couple more questions. Looking back, what are you most proud about from your journey so far?
Proud of it. Don't know, probably the fact that I've been able to give someone a decent job. Probably I'm proud about that. Proud, like, I don't know. That's probably it, to be honest.
Yeah.
What were you proud of?
What am I proud of? Yeah, I suppose you're providing a job to like 15 other people now, and yeah, like when I started was cleaning bins for £2. Now I'm up in Glasgow cleaning an iconic building. So yeah, proud of the way it's developed, and yeah, to be cleaning some of the UK's landmarks and iconic buildings is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, suppose like the progression is for me, like if you generally think about it, like it's like I had a pressure washer in the back of my dad's Astra.
Yeah.
And now like I've got, 2 vans, and it's going okay. Yeah. So I suppose it's just that would be quite proud of myself for that way. Good.
Yeah, it's hard to do. Like I think we probably don't do it naturally, but it's always good to stop and look back.
Yeah.
And see how far you've come as well.
Because I think you're always so focused on like the next thing. It's like you don't. Like I genuinely struggle to think about that.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even appreciate it, do you? You don't stop.
And also as well, because it's so like gradual, kind of. It doesn't feel very significant. Whereas like if you were doing what I was doing at the start, and then next week you're doing what I'm doing now, it would feel like a big jump. But it doesn't really feel like a big jump. So it's like frogs in a bucket kind of thing. Like, that's not the word. It's like, that thing is like, if you put a frog in boiling water, it'll jump out. But if it's just like...
Because it's just gradual, you don't notice it.
And then next thing you're dead. That's what it feels like. Yeah. It's a bit moral, but...
Last question then. What are you most excited about for the future?
Probably just kind of get my time back a bit, and then hopefully being able to, go and London CU, do loads of like, coaching events, try and get my, doing like the businessy things, go meetings and one-to-ones and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll have time to do that. And also just being able to like take time off and it still tick over. Yeah. It'd be quite exciting to do instead of having it completely just like, it doesn't stop.
Nice. So it's not all revolved around you.
Yeah.
Wicked. So we're just over the 30 minutes.
There we go, yeah.
That's a good timing.
Right, so that's my turn to ask you.
It's a bit of a switcheroo now.
Okay. Right, so with Conan today, let's do an introduction of you. Like, how do you know me and how do we know each other?
Yeah, so I've known Alasdaire now for 10 months. First messaged me. You first messaged me on YouTube, wasn't it?
No, I think it was
it YouTube?
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. Yeah. Instagram for some pressure washing advice. Then I said, I'm thinking about doing some coaching if you're interested. And then that's 10 months ago. So we've been working together for 10 months now. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Yeah. It's a pleasure to coach someone who gets stuff done. I mean, yeah, some of the stuff you've done in 10 months, it's taken me like 10 plus years to learn about and implement. And your job, when I tell you to do something, it's literally like the next time we're on a call, it's done.
Yeah, I think pay for that one later.
Yeah.
So yeah, like maybe just like, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm Conan. I run an exterior cleaning company. We're based in London, but we seem to be going further afield more recently. We're up in Glasgow today, cleaning one of the beautiful landmarks of Glasgow, the Mitchell Library. Mm-hmm. So I've been in business now, in this business for 12 years. Obviously when I started, it's evolved, it's a lot different. We started cleaning wheelie bins for £2 a pop, going door to door, knocking, asking people if they like their bins cleaned. And gradually over 12 years, I can't believe it's been 12 years, we've grown to a team of 15 plus. 7-figure service business and cleaning buildings all over the country.
Yeah. So it's kind of a common theme in podcasts. You can ask, like, you know, where'd you grow up? What's your mum and dad like?
Yeah.
What's the timeline of childhood to now?
Okay. Yeah. So grew up in Rayners Lane in Harrow.
Where's that near? For
in,
the people?
in a sort of normal three bed house. Come from Irish background. My mum and dad were Irish. They moved over, I think, in their 20s or something like that.
What did they do for work?
Dad was a plasterer by trade. It's a very manual, physical, hard job.
Yeah.
I used to go out labouring with him from a young age, lifting the big heavy buckets of muck onto the board, getting bruises on your forearm. So yeah, that's where I learned.
Did you learn do any sports when you were younger and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I did football when I was very young. Wasn't amazing at that. Then was probably a bit better at rugby.
Yeah.
Played rugby in secondary school, in college and uni. Played rugby and played for the local rugby club as well. So yeah, I liked rugby.
And then did you so you did high school? How did you do high school?
High school, you know, so I was quite clever actually. So yeah, primary school done well. Secondary school done really well. Yeah, secondary school I got the second or third highest in the whole school. So I still remember.
Right.
I still remember this. I'm quite proud.
For what? Just in grades?
Yeah. 3
wow.
A stars,
That's
6
good.
A's and a B.
Wow.
So did really, really well at secondary school.
Yeah.
That was before
And
alcohol
did
and women.
that come quite naturally to you, or are you hardworking?
Yeah, a bit of both. And naturally, I did really well when the teacher teaches you. I didn't really put in a lot of work after school. So as soon as I went to college, then it kind of flipped, and you had to do a lot of work yourself, and the teachers didn't really teach you as much as they do.
Yeah, just kind of expect you to be more self-motivated.
And that's when it dropped. So significantly dropped between secondary school and college. My grades in college were just average. I think
that's quite weird the way, like,
B's.
the fact that you obviously, no one's told you to go and build the business you have.
Yeah.
And you've obviously excelled in that, whereas in school it was like people telling you what to do. And now it's like you're doing everything off your own accord.
Yeah.
But when you're in college, you struggle with that. Is that because you look back and think, oh, I should need to change that behaviour, or was it just...
There's probably alcohol as well, you know, the time at college. How old are you at college? Is it 17, 18?
I don't know. We don't do that here.
Don't do that here.
No.
So I think you finish secondary school in
Like
when you're
16.
about 15, 16. And then, so between 16 and 18, 19, whenever the years are you go college, it was a lot of going out, partying and drinking, way too much of that. And the grades seriously went downhill.
I mean, your mum and dad quite like... What's going on?
No, so my mum and dad broke up when I was quite young. So my dad wasn't really living with us. My mum, she wasn't very strict.
Right.
So like we'd, which has been, I suppose, has been good in a way. Like if we wanted a day off when we were younger from school, she'd give us a day off. Some people are the other way around.
It's funny, you'd think an Irish mother would be quite...
Yeah. Well, no, she has that side of it now as well.
but yeah, So did college, and then did you go to university?
Yeah, so did college, St Donic's College in Harrow on the Hill, then went to Reading Uni.
And was that more the same, or did you knuckle down a bit better?
So very average as well. I think I ended up getting like a 2.2. Should have done a lot better. Could have done a lot better, but yeah, again, probably wasn't great at the sort of home study and when you have to do it yourself and not really learn from the teacher. Was that
because as well you were in something you were really interested in?
Probably, yeah. So I chose business economics. I always knew I wanted to get into business from a young age. My dad used to bring me to seminars from when I was like 15, 16. So I always got into the personal development world.
Was your dad quite successful in business?
So he was a plasterer by trade. At one stage he did have quite a lot of people working for him. Things were a bit different then. I think it was a bit harder with the VAT and the tax and stuff like that. I think he was telling me before, I think that he used to have to pay VAT on his sales even when he wasn't paid. So they didn't have like cash accounting. So
especially if you're in building trade as well.
Yeah. And people getting knocked all the time in the building trade. So yeah, pretty tough. Yeah,
that is tough.
A very hard-working man. What was the question again?
Did your dad quite successful in business, or?
Yeah. So yeah, they're very, very, very hardworking. But he always had a flair for other stuff as well.
Yeah.
So it was actually him that came across pressure washing.
Right.
So originally he bought the pressure washer to do some driveway cleaning on the side.
Oh, okay.
So this is going back to when I was probably about 14. Or maybe a little bit older. But he kind of went to do it on his own, on the side to the plastering, like on the weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
But it never really grew. He never really mastered getting new customers, the marketing side of things. Yeah.
So how can you stop doing plastering and just?
No, so he still did plastering all the way up until a few years ago when he moved back to Ireland.
Right.
Now he does some fishing and wedding photo booths. So he's got a business now actually. Yeah, they do wedding photo booths.
Yeah, and then So what made you want to start LBC then after you're coming out of university, or did you do it whilst you're still
at uni? Yeah, so still at uni. Had the thinking was on summer holidays, and was just like, oh, how can I earn some extra money? Had a pressure washer sitting in the garage from where my dad had this decent pressure washer, but was been sitting there for years. He kind of parked it. It didn't really materialise. So I had a pressure washer. So I was like, okay, what can I do? A lot of people like wash cars or window cleaning or gardening, but then I just thought, oh, what about wheelie bins? I haven't seen anybody around here cleaning the wheelie bins. Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying in our interview before, I just printed out a piece of paper. I got some pictures from the internet of bins and made some different pricing options, and then I just went door to door, Sandringham Crescent, the road opposite Minehead Road where I was brought up, and literally just would ask people, thinking of starting this business. No, I think the script was a bit like, I'm starting bin cleaning in your area next month. Would you be interested in having your bins cleaned? It's only £2 a bin clean. Would you like to try it out? And by the time I got to the end of that road, there were several people that had signed up to get it done on a monthly basis. So,
were you quite like? Did you look back and think, "Oh, I was quite lucky"? Because do you reckon if that whole road said no, do you reckon you would?
100%. Yeah, I thought about this before, because the very first shop that I went to was my fish and chip shop, and they said no. And then I went to my Chinese shop, and they said no. And then beside those two shops is Sandringham Crescent. And if everybody on that road had said no, then I probably wouldn't have went any further. So yeah,
yes, that's great. You look back at things like that, it's like a butterfly effect.
Yeah.
But
and then I probably didn't know. I remember someone like saying, "Oh, what are you gonna?" Oh, like when I was knocking on the door, I remember one guy saying, "Oh, what are you gonna do? This is gonna be massive. Like you're like all the bins. Look at all the bins." And I hadn't thought of it like that at all. It was just kind of some extra money.
Yeah, like I was going to ask you that. Yeah. So obviously you've built LBC to what it is now. How much did you last year? Like 1 point something million?
Just broke through the milli mark finally.
Major like accomplishment, obviously. Did you think, right, I'm going to set out have £1 million business, or do you just, like you said, just have it for extra beer money, getting something, or did you set out at the start to have this big company, or did you just kind of roll in, and obviously as the years went on, you just had to set these bigger goals for it?
Yeah. So I remember being back at uni actually, and there was one guy on my rugby team, and he asked me, "Oh, what do you want to do? What job are you going to get, or what's your plan?" I was like, "Oh, I actually want to start my own business," and that was I think in the second or third year of uni, and at that time I had no clue of what it was going to be.
I thought that as well. I always kind of knew I was going to start my own business, but I never knew what it was going to be in.
Yeah, see, desire is a very strong thing.
Yeah.
Desire leads to creation. But yeah, so then started this, and yeah, it was just to earn some money. I would, like you, I was working on the side, so I was working with my dad. Do
you think that held you back?
What's that?
Do you think it held you back some ways, that you had a job on the side, or do you wish sometimes you were like, you're forced to get more work and more work?
I was doing the free thing. So I remember I was in my final year of uni, so I was travelling to uni a few days a week. I was doing the plastering a couple of days a week with my dad, and then I think I had enough built up for 1 or 2 days a week cleaning bins.
And how did you do it actually? Was it just, did you get a van or?
Yeah. So £250 van, a pressure washer, and I made like a wash bay at the back.
And did you just piss all the water on the street after?
No, so you gotta be careful what I say here.
Allegedly.
No, so actually, there was a lot of people like would just go in the van, have a pressure washer and a tank. Yeah. But I knew straight away that you're meant to, from looking into it, you need to catch the wastewater. So I built a tank from, those attic tanks you get, I don't know if you've seen them, they're like long black attic tanks. Yeah. So I built that, and then on top put some crates. I'll actually dig out a picture.
That's quite a lot of investment to actually, for something that
No, the tanks didn't cost anything. You know, they're
right.
like tanks that people throw away in the skips.
Oh, okay.
So I literally got one of them fit in the back of the van perfectly. Got some crates and then got some blue netting. You know, like that scaffolding netting.
Yeah.
And yeah, from that made up a home system, filtration system that used to catch the wastewater.
Right. Okay.
And then I've got the trade effluent license, which was only a few £100 as well, to be able to dispose of it in the foul sewer back at my mum's house.
Okay. Quite lucky then, isn't it? It's near your mum's house.
Yeah. So yeah, it's quite lucky as well. My mum had a little sort of yard space at the back of the house, which we operated from years.
All right.
Years, yeah.
So what was I going to say there? Yeah. So did you always have what we talked about before that? Your friend said you were going to have this big business. You didn't think about it.
Yeah. So a friend at uni asked, "Oh yeah, what do you want to do?" And I always knew that I wanted to go into business. At the time, I didn't know what it was going to be, and even probably in the first few years with doing the bin cleaning, I didn't see it as this was the thing that I was going to do. I thought that was just what I was doing to make a bit of extra money for the time.
Yeah.
And I suppose it started growing. I remember I got a mentor or coach early on.
How old were you then?
Yeah, he helped me. He got me into audiobooks, which this is going back probably 10 years ago now. Austin Jones, I reached out to him recently actually, just to say thank you.
How many years in did you get?
I'm guessing probably a couple of years in.
Yeah.
So he actually told me about BNI. I knew about BNI, but he pushed me to do it.
Did you? Because since being in BNI, whenever I bring it up, it's very like Marmite. Yeah. People either don't like it, or they really like it. Was that what you thought about it before you went? I was just nervous about the public speaking. You didn't really get that, did you? No, I do.
You did.
Yeah, I kind of. For folk who don't know, you go there and you have like 60 seconds to promote your business almost. And mine lasts about 20 seconds.
20 seconds?
Yeah, and I think it lasts a while, but it's not. Yeah. I actually did you get also an education.
Does that happen in other areas of your life as well?
What, I speak too fast?
No.
Oh. But yeah, so I did the education slot, and man, I was doing that, like proper shaking. So, I just thought like I need to just do more of it to get better of it. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You got to push yourself, get uncomfortable. Yeah. You only grow when you're uncomfortable.
And there's people there that are really good at it.
Yeah.
Like amazing. And you're like, are they always that good, or are they just got better? But and it's probably not. They probably just got better. But it is. Yeah. People are. You don't actually realize when they stand up and speak how good they are until you do it, and you're like.
Yeah, there's people in mine, and they've been there for years and years, and they still read it off. They don't speak.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who are like really good at it.
Yeah, there's some people in mine as well. Like really, you can really tell people that are really good at it. They really get their message across, don't they? And they stand out. Sometimes another person who's reading like this, at the end, you don't even know what they say. You just switch off. Yeah. So I think that is a real skill. But I remember, I was scared to go to it for ages. Yeah. So that guy, Austin Jones, he was telling me about it and encouraging me to go for ages. And I was scared about doing the 60 seconds. Finally got the courage up to go to the group.
You know what's funny though? You never told me about that.
No.
I just thought you just went along. But I never knew about the 6 seconds.
Oh, I
was just like, oh, okay. But yeah,
you didn't ask.
Yeah, maybe I wouldn't have went if I knew that. But I don't know, maybe I would. Because the thing is, though, what I think I'm quite good at is, see if someone said you need to go and like, I don't know, jump off that building to get this, I would probably want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't like.
You just know.
I'm just thinking, well, if you told me to do it, I would do it.
Yeah.
And because I know it's the right thing to do, kind of thing. Anyway, go on. You had your
mentor. You don't let the fear.
Not even that. Just like I'm just kind of like anyone. See if someone said like do this and it will do this. You will get that.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, I'll force myself to do it.
Nice. Well, that's a good strength.
And I feel like anyway, skill. Sorry. I digress. So you're going to your mentor told you to be now.
Yeah. So we put off going for a long time. Was shit scared of doing the 60-second, doing the public speaking.
Yeah.
I think the word public speaker makes it worse than it is.
It's not really like that though.
It's not really like that. It's just 60 seconds. But then so did the 60 seconds. And then I remember there was two guys in the group, and they did the orientation with you afterwards, like asking you any questions. Do you want to join? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't. I really don't want to do that.
How much was it then when you joined?
I can't remember. It was probably not too much less. Maybe a few £100 less than what it is now.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. And they were like, what's it going to take for you to join? And I was like, I just don't want to do that 60 seconds again. And then I was like, all right, shit, I'll do it. But yeah, that's how nervous I was about doing the 60 seconds.
Yeah. So after that mentor, what was your next kind of like milestone?
Milestone, what, business wise, or
not a milestone? Just like, you know, you've told your life story till now, so you've got up to the part where you had your first mentor.
Yeah.
And then you kind of kept plodding along. It was, how many vans were you at then?
Yeah, so then it was just me on the tools in the van doing all the work. Yeah. Gradually hired some people, like one at a time.
Yeah. And they just help you, like just
used to help me. Yeah, probably till we had like it would be me, then two more, and then we'd stick one of them out in the van. The bins were quite easy because you had like a regular round. So once you had someone trained up that could do the bin washing and do the driving, you could let them off and do the round. Mm-hmm. So that would free me up then to do some of the more ad hoc stuff like the driveways, patios, stuff
right.
Like that.
So is that your first step into? So were you thinking, right, this regular work's easy to have, just get guys to do it, and then you go and do the stuff that's not a bit harder in a sense? And is that, so when did you decide to go and start doing pressure washing? And is that?
Yes, I suppose from the start, because obviously my dad had done the driveway cleaning in the past, so I knew how good it was and the results that you could get.
Yeah.
But the bins were the main thing. The bins, the driveways would just be one-offs here and there, and I didn't think you could make a business. I didn't think you can make a business just out of the driveways.
Is that just because of, you know, you get one and you don't see them again?
Because back then I didn't have the experience of the marketing that works consistently. So back then I thought, you could only get one here and there. You won't be able to get it full time to make a business. Whereas the domestic bins, because it's such a low price, and we were only charging £2 to start with, it was quite easy to build up around for that and make that regular work, and then do the ad hoc work on top of that.
What do you mean ad hoc? What does that mean?
Ad hoc is where it's not regular. It's just
right. Okay.
It's just one off.
And then so you, obviously you're doing the driveways and stuff like that. When was the part where you decided, right, this I'm gonna go and just fully try and get regular work in for the driveways? And did you start doing gutters in the winter and stuff like that?
Yeah. So it was gradual really. Yeah. So gutters in the winter, roofs more in the winter.
When did you start doing roofs?
Probably. I'd say probably wasn't till a good few years in. So we're 12 years now. I think it was probably maybe as many as 4 or 5 years in before we started doing roofs.
And did you advertise to do roofs and then do it?
No. So this is the funny thing as well. It's not until you like stop and actually look and think what's profitable, what do I want to be doing most, and then start pushing more advertising and marketing on that. But yeah, so for ages, stupidly, we were advertising and building up the least profitable stuff
to the bins,
and neglecting the roofs and some of the good stuff.
So did you think, right, I'm going to try and do a roof, or did someone say, do you do roofs? And you were like, yeah.
Someone said, someone said, can you clean my roof? I remember the first one. It was a garage roof. And
you just pressure washed that the first, or did you scrape it?
Yeah, just pressure washed it.
Yeah,
pressure washed it.
So that's what happened to me. So I was doing the driveway, and they're just like, do you do roofs? And I was like, yeah. Went home, googled it, and the next time.
You do now?
yeah. That's exactly it. But so yeah, then that was, how many years in were you then?
Yeah, probably like 4 or 5 years started doing roofs. It's probably it's only very recent that roofs have we've really started pushing roofs. Maybe in the last 3-4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And so you know, so wait, where are we at now? So you had the 5 vans. You started doing the pressure washing as well. How many vans did you have for the bins? How many vans did you have for the exterior cleaning?
Well, now?
No, just as you kind of gradually went.
Before. So it was one van for the regular domestic bins, because there's a special set up for that.
And is that point, did you have a fancy truck at this point, or did you still have the one you had?
No, just had a van with like a wash bay in the back of it.
Oh, okay.
And then that used to double up for doing the driveways as well. And then I got like a pickup style Ford Ranger with a bin lift on the back.
Yeah.
So that was the next step actually. So yeah, domestic normal transit van. The regular wheelie bins in the back where you put them in the back and you jet wash them out, and then doing the driveways on the side with the same pressure washer. Then the next step was getting the Ford Ranger style truck with a bin lift on the back.
So for the Euro bins and stuff like that?
Yeah, so that was quite a step for us. So then we made a sort of transition from only doing residential to doing commercial as well.
How'd you get your first commercial customer?
So yeah, I still remember the first commercial customer was St George's Primary School in Harrow-on-the-Hill.
Is that the school you went to?
They contacted us. That was my first check that I got. It was about 130 quid. I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. You got 130 quid on a check for cleaning. It was like 6 bins or something.
That's good.
6 commercial bins at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just kind of, so how did you start advertising for more commercial work for the bins? Obviously, did you then think, right, commercial's the way to go for the bins?
Yeah. So quickly knew that commercial was the way to go for the bins. We started advertising, started doing Google ads, started doing more stuff on the website.
So how did you get into Google ads? Because obviously, I was quite thingy in a sense of like you need to like go through a lot of money to actually for them to even work, let alone get. Did you straight up go for an agency?
Yeah, no. So probably tried it myself first.
Yeah, and it didn't.
And
it's so technical.
Yeah, and the mistake people make is they spend some money on Google ads, they get a few inquiries, they get busy, and then they turn it off. Or they say, or they
spend like £1 a day and think it's not working.
Yeah. Or they spend like £500 and they say, oh, I only got 5 customers. I spent £500. I only got 5 customers. But when you do the maths on it, £100 a customer, if you're getting like a £1,000 or £2,000 job, it's, if you do the maths on it, it's worth it. So a lot of people, they don't really, they're not prepared to spend to get the customer.
So when did you get the agency, and when did you like decide, right, I'm not going to try and get my head around that and just decide?
Yeah, so pretty early in, tried it ourselves, wasn't really working, was having limited success with it. So I'm part of a network in Birmingham, Entrepreneur Circle. I've mentioned it to you before.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And I came across a guy there who ran an agency, and we've been with them for years. They've been pretty good.
Cool. And so you're still with them now?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that's quite lucky then, I suppose.
Yeah.
But right, so got 5 minutes left. So, so where you at now? So, fucking hell, let's cut this out. Right, so you started doing Google ads, obviously doing the commercial bins and the roofs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, so where are you at now? So you're at Honey Vans.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, what's important actually is, a couple of years ago, had a really good session with a business coach, like a realignment they call it, and then we kind of said, okay, we want to go commercial, and we kind of had that, me and Jo, my fiance, and she works with me in the business.
Sounds like a right hand gal.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's incredible.
Tell her that.
Yeah, Jo, if you're listening. But we had this wicked meeting with my business coach, and we said, look, we want to go commercial. Commercial's the way to go. When we do go commercial, the jobs are more profitable. You're dealing with less people for higher amounts of money. They're pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be working with some of these big commercial stuff. And we kind of just decided, and then we like swapped up the website a bit, swapped up the ads a bit, and literally within a few months, like now, probably 70-80% of our work is commercial, I'd say.
And is your residential mainly just roofs, or is it quite a lot?
Yeah, so residential now is mainly affluent homeowners with roofs, a little bit of gutters, and like big driveways and stuff.
So if you get an inquiry for someone who's like, I don't know, like a really small house, would you
still price it? We'll price it, yeah.
And then so what would be kind of looking back the kind of turning point which thought, you had, or like what was the one thing that you thought, right, that's definitely a moment where I was like, this is taking everything off? Yeah,
so that moment where we had that realignment and we decided to focus on.
How long ago was that?
Commercial. That was probably 2-3 years ago.
Oh, right, 2-3 years ago.
2-3 years ago. Around the same time, started using a scorecard or a dashboard for the business, which learned off from one of the mentors as well, and then getting the head around thinking, rather than looking at how much work you've done in a week, thinking about what are you selling, how much work are you selling in a week. So then you're kind of,
that's the main thing you told me as well.
Yeah, because then you can control it. If you're always looking back at what you've done, you can't control what you want to get. But if you start looking forward and thinking, okay, what do I want to sell? Then, and your conversion rate and your average order value, then you can control how many inquiries you need to have to get what you want to get.
Yeah, and have you ever wished you started a different business to what you are now?
Yeah, so sometimes along the journey, especially when the times are hard, you think, if all this hard work that I'm doing, all the time I'm putting in, and people have said this to me as well, actually, and they've said, if you were in another business, I think you'd be like, in a nice way, they say, like, I think it'd be a lot better, like, all the hard work you put in and stuff. But I'm not sure if that's true, because, well, there is definitely some businesses that seem to be easier to grow. But
like what would be the best? Sorry? What would be a different business?
Some construction and groundworks companies, there's big money in them. Like some of their projects are like millions of pounds. So it's.
But do you think construction's a bit I've never heard good things from construction.
No, construction is, there's a lot of people going bust all the time. It's high risk of not getting paid.
Not getting paid, yeah.
So sometimes I think people always think the grass is greener on the other side. Like I've got I've got a partner who we do some property stuff with as well, and he's got a construction company, and he sometimes thinks as well construction is hard, and maybe there is an easier way, but I'm not sure. I think all business is hard.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people all the time. You're dealing with cash flow. All business has the same issues. It's normally cash flow, people, and what's the other one?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Cash flow, people.
I'm testing you now because I've forgotten on the spot.
Cash flow, people. Finance.
Probably mindset.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. You asked me out. Is there a right answer here? Or?
Yeah, no. I normally have three, but I've forgotten.
Yeah, I feel like mindset would be one of them.
Mindset.
Yeah. So, like you said to me, you look back in 5-10 years, where would you want LBC to be?
So in the next 5 years, what we want to do?
Or what would be the end? What would be the end point?
Yeah. So my original goal, similar to yours, I think you've nicked it.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit.
My original goal was always to get to 5 million turnover, sort of 1 million net profit, and then be in the position to sell it if I want to, or hire a managing director who can run it. And
do you think do you ever think about branching into other things? So let's say you get to 5 million and you've got a manager, and you've got the dream team, and you're just kind of chairman, advisor kind of thing. Do you think that you'll keep it and then obviously sometimes branch into something else? And would that be to do with pressure washing? So like, would you maybe start your own chemical business? Or
so I've been thinking recently we tried to acquire a drainage company. We had the deal all agreed with a tanker company, liquid waste transfer tanker company, had the deal all done and was really excited for it. But then the current owner is kind of retired and out of the equation, and the existing team weren't too happy with it.
Right.
And there were some complications because some of the existing team are related to the actual owner, so he didn't want to upset them. They're quite happy with the way things are going now, and they don't want. And are you on
the hunt for another drainage company?
Yes, potentially. Yeah, going to start sending out some. And then
because James Sinclair gave you some advice, and he said that you were thinking too small of your the one you had now. So are you like your kind of goal? You're going after the bigger company instead of having a small company.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take James Sinclair's advice. He's a wise man. He's a wise man. If you're listening, James, we can clean that lovely house of yours. Yeah. I've messaged you on Instagram.
Yeah, but so I think that's our time. So thanks very much.
That is the time. Brilliant. So it's been good.
There we go. Yeah.
Nice.